Welcome, Heart Journal Magazine. This is Sandra Kay from Sandra Kay Designs. In this video, I'll be showing you a huge pile of my personal journals. So let's get started. I absolutely love to make my own art journals. Absolutely. This is an old ledger, and I gutted it and put in watercolor paper. Here's some end of waste paper that I used to do. I think those are some paper towels that have been glued down to paper. I also use the scraps in my fabric quilt room and sew journal covers with them. That's a Midori style. This was a photo album that I found at a thrift store, and I gutted the old album parts out. It also had a bunch of those old photos in it, and I filled it with old papers and scrapbook papers and things. I also have a tendency to get bored with an album. As you see here, it's sitting there half empty, but I will get back to it eventually and move on, and then I will get back to it. This is a book that I did a lot of modeling paste on it. The base of this is duck cloth, and so it's very flexible, and it's velveteen on the inside. At the very beginning, I started with moleskins. This is one of my first art journals, and I'm working on masking tape is the background of this. And even back then, you could tell that I started, this is washi tape you see me pointing at, and I've started building up the layers. And, but here again, I've built up the layers. They were all waste. All of that is waste paint from other projects. And then I slowly build up the layers. But I do not work in moleskins anymore. This is an old book that I gutted, school book, and cut down and filled it with my own papers, and slowly began to fill it, and it is completed and finished. And I made this book with a friend, and she made one for herself, and we have both finished those books, and they are a lot of fun to make your own books. I really enjoyed making. Here is a hardbound book with a leather spine, which is how I now do my art journals. This is a page of ephemera that was sent to me from a friend in Denmark, and the other page that I'm pointing at now was a friend that sent to me in Australia, and I made a page. This is a 21 Secrets page, and we had to do our thumbprints. And I'm just me playing and making a mess and experimenting. A lot of times I'll do swap pages. This was a swap page that I sent somebody, and I liked it so much that I do it again for myself in my own art journals. And I just don't like, when you give a journal away to somebody and you don't get to keep the journal, you enjoy the artwork so much and you don't get to keep it for yourself. Those butterfly wings are made out of washi tape. That bird is an actual magazine bird, and I painted over the top of it. I love this page. It is Tombow markers, and then you get them nice and wet and juicy, and then they spread around. Here is my current happy journal that you saw in the previous video. My leather spine. Here's another leather spine journal. I make all my journals this way now. We'll do a quick flip through here. And I do a few pages that are built up normally, but most of these are waste, where you just, like, this is excess modeling paste that I had on the left, and I smeared it down. And those 3 circles are from a friend named Emily. And but occasionally you'll see that all of that whole background right there was completely done with the way you saw me doing my art journal pages earlier. And all these backgrounds are all done where I just build it up. And then eventually I wind up putting something like that mandala. Now that page, it was built up, but it was so pretty I just couldn't touch it. And then I wind up going back and I wind up doodling on top of everything. I'm a big, big doodler. And then I add a quote. But again, that page right there is a perfect example. All these pages is just a bunch of color that's just added, and then I wind up adding. I just wind up adding something. Those drips had some really sad things written, and then I wound up having to color it in because I didn't want anyone to see the sadness. So Like those flowers, those were on purpose. There was nothing down first. I did those on purpose. That page I did on purpose as well. But that was a waste page. I happened to be working with blue and gold that day. That's a waste page. That's a waste page. And then eventually I just wind up putting something on top of it. This is my 100 days challenge. We've all seen that on Instagram. I made myself little collage books. I put down ephemera on every page first, and then I went every day and for 100 days and put little bits of collage. I guess I should have brought the camera a little closer so you could see what was going on. I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, and I have piles of stickers. That Shirley Temple sticker came from a page of Shirley Temple stamps, and I hung on to it and finally found a dance quote and decided to use that sticker at the same time. That tiger wound up growling, and the quote under there says, "I am clearly not in the mood." So I thought that was funny. So I really enjoyed doing that 100 days. I thought that's a Chuck E. Cheese. It comes off of a bag, their lunch bag. I save everything for collage, and I stick it in categories that I have my filing system. It was a lot of fun to do this 100 days challenge, and I did it with collage. That's Robin Murray Smith, and I went with my friend Becky. At this point, I'm going to show you my Gluebook pages. I am involved in a Gluebook party every month, and it's the first Saturday at 8 o'clock at night, and it's hosted by Bear Branch Blooming on Instagram. And I start off my pages with ephemera. I glue them down first and add a little bit of color. And then I take magazine clippings and stickers and things I found, and I do pin work and everything. And they're based on themes, sometimes color, sometimes ideas. And you try and interpret those themes as best you can. I love that little sloth. He's got a smile on his face, and I added a smile quote from Mother Teresa on there. And so I have these really cool cards when I'm done, pages when I'm done. Here's my flower journal. My friend Emily Lagore on Instagram is making this amazing flower journal, and so I decided I wanted to have one too. So I will be filling this up with all kinds of flower watercolors and pictures and paintings and things. And as I wrap up this video, I am pulling out a couple of my Etsy journals that I have ready for my Etsy shop. They're leather spined with my artwork, watercolor paper, ready to go, and some baby J's for working in. And I just want to thank you guys for coming along on Art Journal Peek that I've done here. And with Art Journal Magazine, it's been an experience, and I really appreciate you guys coming. Thanks so much. Bye. Until next time.